consume a lot of natural resources. They may even pollute the world and harm the environment. Compassion is a medicine for anger and pain. If you constantly maintain compassion while listening, anger and impatience will not arise. Otherwise, what the other party says may irritate you, make you angry or painful. As long as you have compassion, you can avoid annoyance, angry, and or disappointment. When you're listening to others, you wish you could listen like Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. But even if you know that the speaker is suffering and needs you rescue right now, you have to well equip yourself before you can listen to the sufferings of others. Just like a firefighter, you must have the correct equipment, such as ladders, water, and protection gears, and must know many methods of self-protection before setting out to fight a fire. When you listen to someone who's suffering, it is like walking into a burning fire, where the flames of pain and anger are burning the person that you are listening to. If you are not equipped, not only will you not be able to help him, but you will be a victim of your inner fire. That is why you need to be well equipped. What we need when listening is compassion. We can cultivate compassion by adopting mindful breathing. When you breathe clearly and get the righteous thoughts, you will be able to keep the motivation to help the other person to pull out his thoughts. Then, even if the person speaks harshly, full of accusations or criticisms, because of the constant practice of mindful breathing, you'll be protected by compassion, and you will not feel suffering at all when you are with him for an hour. Compassion keeps nourishing you, letting you know that you are helping others to relieve suffering, helping you to play the role of bodhisattvas, and you will definitely be a successful listener. So, how to practice compassion? To practice compassion is not easy. It is easy for us to show care and love to those we are related to or whom we have good impression of. But for those we don't know and don't like very much, it is harder to feel their pain or try to elevate it or alleviate it. So compassion should be unconditional, showing love and care for everyone without discrimination. Compassion can be cultivated many times. When something happens, our reaction is usually without thinking, just reacting instinctively. But with the right training and mindset, we can learn to remain calm and empathetic and showing compassion to all those around us. First of all, it is important to calm down our minds and focus before we can truly help and understand others. To do so, we can start with step-by-step training that gradually help us calm our mind and take bodhi vows to help others. Compassion comes in different levels, and it's important not to be too demanding on ourselves in the beginning. We should start with small group of people close to us, such as families, schoolmates, and classmates, and then expand our group gradually. Being compassionate to those around us means being tolerant and not holding grudges against anyone. It's a valuable lesson that we can all learn. It's something that we can practice every day. By doing so, we can create a more peaceful and harmonious world for ourselves and those around us. For example, one day you saw someone searching for directions with his phone on the side of the road. You went to him and asked him if he needed any help. And that man told you he was trying to find the way to Bodhi Monastery. If you help him and tell him the direction, isn't this an act of compassion? Of course this is. You do not know that person, but you wish him well from the bottom of your heart and help him solve his problem without asking for anything. Our mind is simple, straightforward, and not complicated. If we think about it in a too complicated way, we shall be afraid, and if we are scared, we shall not do it. So it is great if we can make a vow and treat everyone we meet that day with compassion before we go out every day. So keep our mind simple, straightforward, and just do the right thing and have compassion. Someone asked, there are indeed bad people in our workplace. I know we should not easily judge others, but like he is indeed a bad person and always do bad things. How can I be compassionate when facing bad people? There is no good or evil, no good or bad. If that person does something bad, he has his karma. So we don't just focus on, we don't have to focus on his part. We should just focus on doing our best. So that will be enough. So when we face people who are not nice and commit unwholesome acts or harm us, bring us troubles, make our life miserable, and so on, what shall we do to them? What they do are not correct, but we should not have anger or hatred towards them. They will have their karma. So under the Buddha Dharma, we should have compassion for all beings, even those that hurt us. We should think about the reasons why these people behave like this. There's a lot of conditions that can make these people behave like this. Maybe they did not meet anyone that could use skillful means to help them. Maybe they did not purposely do it, but made mistakes because of ignorance. Maybe they had their hardship that we may not know. So ordinary people will just quickly judge these people and avoid them. Buddha and Bodhisattvas see all beings as their children and future Buddhas, so they will not give up on helping each other, helping those poor people. So we should learn the spirit of Buddha and Bodhisattva, and then we can easily initiate compassion towards all people on all occasions. So when we talk about compassion, the easiest way that we can use in our daily life is to be vegetarian. You can save a lot of life. So let us talk about this topic. The next topic now. We're going to have an elaboration on vegetarianism. Vegetarianism is a unique and great characteristic of Chinese Buddhism. Vegetarianism means not to eat meat. It has been a traditional virtue of Chinese Buddhism for thousands of years and accords with the profound and noble spirits of the Buddha Dharma. Only the followers of Chinese Buddhism who possesses a solid cultural foundation are able to thoroughly develop these virtues to the point where it not only becomes a personal practice and common mindset among Chinese Buddhists, but also was once used as a part of policy that forbids people from killing and slaughtering animals during certain time periods each year. Although the meaning of vegetarianism is not fully understood by general vegetarians, it is indeed an excellent characteristic of the Chinese Buddhist community. Unfortunately, for the past, 30 or 50 years, a long time, vegetarianism has been corrupted and been attacked by complex factors, and this has resulted in a gradual decline of vegetarianism in the society. All kinds of incorrect beliefs and misleading talks have become very popular. It is undeniable that this is the sad decline of the Buddhist spirit in China. It is no wonder the faithful and devoted Buddhists, such as Venerable Yin Guang, were heartbroken and raised a cry of warning. Okay, why should Buddhists be vegetarian? Is it a must to be vegetarian? Can we become vegetarian completely? Why can we not eat meat? There are kinds of questions that are often raised and are easily misunderstood by people in the society. Therefore, these questions are crucial for new Buddhists to understand, and these are concepts that should not be neglected by those who want to support and protect Buddhism, especially in China. The meaning of vegetarianism and no consumption of meat. First, we should understand that according to the Buddha Dharma, non-vegetarian means consuming pungent vegetables and herbs with strong odors, such as spring onions, garlics, shallots, and leeks. If everyone is eating it, then it should not be a problem. However, if one or a few people eat these, but others do not, then these strange smells may cause others to feel nauseous and unpleasant. Therefore, Buddhists should avoid eating them. If people need to consume it for medical reasons, they should not participate in mass gatherings to avoid being disliked by others. This is the fundamental meanings behind not eating pungent herbs as part of being vegetarian in the Buddha Dharma, which is not the same as general vegetarianism, which simply does not consume meat. Let us explain more on the 5 pungent vegetables. That is something many Buddhists do not understand. Why can't we practitioners eat the 5 pungent vegetables? The 5 pungent vegetables are onions, garlic, scallops, scallions, chives, leeks, and asafoetida. So these are the 5 kinds of vegetables that call 5 poisons. So what is asafoetida? We haven't seen it before. It is used in the Indian cuisine. Indian eats this stuff with rice. Indians love to eat this, especially with curry, I think. That smells very unpleasant. I heard a story from a monk, a Buddhist monk, because we do not have this dishes in the Chinese dish. So he had no idea what it is, and he never had it before. He said he went to Sri Lanka to study Pali and meditation. And near where he stayed, there was a family. And this family loved to cook and eat this thing every day. And the whole apartment building stinks. And the stench was overwhelming. And whenever he passed by, the smell was unbearable. Later, I learned that, later he learned that that thing is called asafoetida. Why can't the practitioner eat these 5 pungents? Although these 5 ingredients are not animal meat, although they are not poisonous, nor they are meat dishes, the ingredients of pungent vegetables are like poisons for us Buddhists, and they can harm our bodies and mind. The taste of these pungent vegetables can easily stimulate our senses, affect our emotions, and even cause our greed, cause us to be greedy, because they have the effect of stimulating lust and increasing desire, especially for practitioners, this is a hindrance on the cultivation path. Eating the 5 pungent vegetables make us have psychological reactions. Eating them raw easily arouses anger. And eating them cooked generates hormones leading to sexual impulses, hindering our pure mind and disturbing us from meditating and cultivating concentration and wisdom. In Surangama Sutra, it mentioned why we should not eat the 5 pungents. Sentient beings seeking samadhi should quit the 5 kinds of pungent vegetables in the world. These 5 kinds of pungent produce sexual desire when eaten cooked and increase hatred when eaten raw. Oh, yeah, sorry. So when eaten, these 5 kinds of pungent produce sexual desire when we eaten cooked and increase hatred when eaten raw. So in this world, even if a person eats pungent food, can proclaim the 12 divisions of sutras, the gods of 10 directions will think him stinky and filthy and stay away. Because hungry ghosts and others lick his lips after he has eaten them, he often lives with ghosts. His fortune decreases day by day, and there is no benefits in long run. When this person who eats pungent food practices samadhi, gods and other deities of 10 directions don't come to protect him. So from these, we can understand the food and drink we have will affect our body and mind as a practitioner. The 5 kinds of pungent vegetables mentioned in the scriptures, if eaten raw, they will make us angry, make it easy to grow angry thoughts, make it easy to develop hatred, and make us lose our temper. If eaten cooked, they will strengthen our lust, increase our desire, and encourage our lustful thoughts. So no matter if you eat them raw or cooked, they invisibly encourage us to commit kinds of evil deeds, such as killing, stealing, committing to sexual immorality, and lying, making our mind impure, making us restless, and destroy our Dharma body and life of wisdom. If a cultivator cannot quit the 5 pungents, even if that person can preach sutras, even if his wisdom of eloquence is hindrance-free, and he can preach all sutras of the 3 treasures and the 12 divisions well, no one will listen to him, and no Dharma protectors will protect him. Why? Even if there are gods and celestial beings, dragons, and Dharma protectors who want to protect that person, as soon as they smell that bad smell from that person's mouth, they will avoid it. And of course, they won't come to protect him or her. In addition, because of the foul smell itself, just matches the smell of the beings in the ghost realm. Hungry ghosts like stinky things. So as soon as the ghost smell the 5 pungents in his mouth, they will be inspired to lick his lips. So I often hear that some practitioners dream of evil ghosts at night or are pinned down by ghosts. Actually, this is because they have eaten too much of the 5 pungent vegetables. Ghosts don't eat this food themselves. They just like to lick the lips of the people who have eaten the 5 pungent vegetables, and they are then satisfied with it. So beings in the realm of ghosts like the smell of this odor. People who eat the 5 pungent vegetables often live with beings in the ghost realms, and their blessings will be decreased day by day. And when their blessings decreases, bad karma grows. So therefore, if a person is often with the beings in the ghost realm, naturally good dharmas and conditions will gradually move away from him, and his blessing will gradually diminish. All in all, eating the five plungent vegetables will not bring us any benefits but various disadvantages. Therefore, true Buddhist practitioners, especially those who are determined to practice meditation, must abstain from taking the five pungent vegetables in order to be able to practice purely. If you want to cultivate well and want to be free from birth and death, the first things you need to do is to avoid taking the five pungent vegetables, especially for a person who likes to practice meditation, or for a chanting practitioner. I think this is very important. All sentient beings who seek samadhi should quit the intake of five kinds of pungent vegetables in the world. Why? What will these poisons do to you? It will make you unable to attain concentration, make you unable to be pure, cut off your Dharma body and wisdom, drive your Dharma protector away from you, and lead you to no achievement in cultivation. Therefore, we Buddhists must pay attention to these bad effects brought by these five pungent vegetables. As for common meaning for vegetarianism, it is close to the idea of consuming vegetables without meat. However, according to the Buddha Dharma, Buddhists are not just vegetarians that consume vegetables, because they also do not consume the pungent herbs. So the Buddhists are not vegan in that they do not abstain from consuming all animal products. Buddha allowed the consumption of dairy products, such as milk and cheese from cows, goats, or sheep. Therefore, vegetarianism in Buddha Dharma is not vegetarianism in general, where one consumes vegetables without meat. Not consuming meat for Buddhists is the practice of no killing. So vegetarianism is the realization of the spirit of benefiting and protecting lives. No killing is the fundamental principle of Buddha Dharma in terms of benefiting sentient beings and improving our world. All precepts, practices, and moral behaviors are based on this principle. For example, taking refuge is a practice of faith for new Buddhists. And we vow and say, from now on till the end of my life, I will protect the lives of all beings. At the time when we take refuge, in order to realize this vow of protecting life, one cannot forego initiating the resolution to uphold the precepts. The first precepts in the 5 precepts and the 10 precepts is to abstain from killing. So the meaning of these wholesome precepts can be summarized as follows. No killing is not to take or harm others' lives or body, which is the inner life, while no stealing is not to invade or damage others' assets, which is the external life. By respecting others' lives and property, we are protecting the lives of humans. Not committing adultery is not to destroy the harmony of others' family, so families and clans are protected. No lying can help people build trust and understanding with one another. Without deception or arguments, human societies are protected. Oops. So if there is an absence of the spirit of protecting sentient beings' lives, then all actions we do for others or in this world will become unkind and unwholesome. Therefore, protecting lives is the core concept of the Buddha Dharma. This is innate in the Buddha Dharma. This concept is developed and promoted thoroughly by Mahayana Buddhism. Compassionate acts such as not killing and not consuming meat are rooted in this concept. So seemingly reasonable yet false argument from non-vegetarians. Okay, let us look at that. Some claim that maybe it is all right to consume meat, while others think it is a must to consume meat. These meat eaters' insights are extremely complex and very deceptive. They always put up some hypocritical scientific reasons and say it is impossible to abstain from killing. It is a must to kill, therefore it is meaningless for them not to eat meat from the angle of no killing. They think that plants like grass and trees have lives, so eating vegetables is like killing them as well. They also think that vegetarianism, not eating meat, is not perfect because there will be uncountable organisms in a sip of water. And there are also uncountable creatures in the air when we take a breath. If we abstain from killing and do not eat meat, then we cannot drink water or breathe. As a result, we can only die. So they also think that if no killing is based on the view of benevolence, such as the Confucian's teaching, a gentleman always stay away from kitchen, then these are just incomplete self-deception. These insights may be reasonable for ordinary people in the society, but if some Buddhists also agree and support these sayings, then this is a big joke. Venerable Yin-Shun said, I heard that Japanese Buddhist society has similar insights, which I found hard to believe. I heard that the Buddha Dharma in Japan is quite prosperous and well-developed, but how could they have such understanding and say things like non-Buddhists? Perhaps these are just some irresponsible remarks and foolish comments from some unprofessional scholars. So let us look at the discussion on the truth of no killing from the relationship of emotion and state of mind. Killing and no killing mentioned in the Buddha Dharma has both wholesome and unwholesome nature. That is, there are the qualities of morality and immorality. The quality of morality and immorality does not belong to the scientific field of physics or chemistry, nor is it related to something that can be viewed through a microscope or a telescope. In physics, what is wholesome or unwholesome cannot be distinguished. Rather, this belongs to the field of morality, which involves the complexity of rationality and sentiments. That is to say, what is wholesome or unwholesome is something related to mentality and object, as well as self and others in the realm of sentient beings. Therefore, these issues should be explained from the aspects of rationality and sentiments, as well as the aspect of mentality of the killer and the victim. First, let us look at the aspect of what is killed. Killing means to harm, to take the life of beings and possess feelings and consciousness, similar to what is called an animal. Sentient beings with consciousness and feelings all have desire to live and fear dying. When facing danger or death, they will feel scared and pained, which evokes hatred, indignation, and hostile behavior. For example, when humans are killing each other, this will create a hostile situation that builds grievances, hatred, antagonism, and mutual killing. Vegetation like grass and trees are living things without consciousness. Although they have living characteristics, like reproduction and requiring nourishment. When they face danger, they only have a physical response, not a mental response. For example, chopping trees or cutting grass will not provoke hostility and hatred between us and them, nor will affect us in a sense of accumulating karma of killing. So killing in the Buddha Dharma stresses whether there is a conscious response from the opposite side, and whether killing will create the karmic relationship of hatred and antagonism. So eating vegetables is also killing lives. This argument is absolutely a claim from, obviously, a claim from someone who does not understand the truth on this matter. They do not understand what killing lives means and the true reason to abstain from killing. The severity of the faults of killing depends on the sentiments of the killer. So killing in Buddha Dharma is specifically from the aspects of beings with consciousness. Although sentient beings all have consciousness, they each have different relationships with humans. Therefore, the karmic results of killing them has variation in severity. For instance, killing a person is regarded as a grave fault. And in this case, if the victim is a person that the killer or society owes much gratitude to, such as parents, teachers, or sages, then the fault is the evilest of the evil. If the victim is a cow, sheep, bird, fish, or insects, although this is fault, the severity is much less. Apart from the factor of the victim, whether the act constitutes killing needs to also take into account the mentality of the perpetrators when they kill sentient beings. This can be summarized into 3 categories. The first, clearly understanding that the victim is a sentient being, and because of greed, hatred, and heretical views, the desire to kill arises after contemplation. Killing humans with such intentions is certainly a serious unwholesome crime. Similarly, the unwholesome karma from killing animals with such intent is also not light. Second, we should not kill and can also avoid the killing of animals such as cattle, sheep, and insects. If we are not vigilant and harm these creatures unintentionally because of carelessness, this will create unwholesome karma, but it is a lighter offense because you feel regret for their unwholesome acts. So if you feel regret, is a lighter offense, and because they are not human, so they are not treated as grave sins like the human. The third, if people kill and wound a living beings without the intention to kill, and they do not know there are sentient beings, then such a state of mind is just the same as drinking water and breathing in daily life. In this case, even if they have killed or harmed sentient beings, they are not guilty of killing. Killing in the Buddha Dharma refers to the acts of killing that constitutes an unwholesome offense, which is similar to secular laws, but more thorough only. For example, under our secular laws, the crime of murder varies depending on the intention of the killer, whether it is intentional or unintentional. In addition, if a person who is mentally deranged or mentally handicapped accidentally harms someone, they do not commit the crime of murder. In the 27th fascicles of Ekotarika Gama, Buddha once asked bhikkhus, have you ever seen a butcher making a great fortune or owning many horses and elephant carriages? The bhikkhus replied, no, Buddha, we have never seen or heard of such things. Buddha said, oh yes, bhikkhus, I also have never heard of anyone killing lives, working as butcher, can gain great fortune and own luxurious horses, elephants, carriages. This is also against the principle of causes and effects. Do you know why? Bhikkhus, have you seen anyone killing pigs, goats, deer, and other animals gaining great fortune? All the bhikkhus answer, no, Buddha, we have never heard of such things. Buddha continues saying, that is right, bhikkhus. The case that a person who can gain great fortunes by killing other animals is unreasonable. If you see any man who butchers animals but own great wealth, owning horse or elephant carriages, is because of their own karma conditions in his past lives, not the karmic fruits of the present lives. That is the karma fruits obtained by the person who had committed wholesome deeds in previous lives. Furthermore, Buddha explained, we can't be rich if we still have the intention to kill. Why? For example, if there is a person who befriends with, two people who love to commit unwholesome deeds and are especially fond of killing, then he will create the causes to be reborn in the hell in the future. Even if this person is reborn in the human realm, he will only have a short life. For another example, if someone loves to steal, one will also plan the cause to be reborn in hell. So people who butcher animals will go through the process as the above examples, because killing will bring them bad karmic results. They can't have great fortune, nor they own luxurious horses or elephant carriages. So dear bhikkhus, you should have great compassion towards all sentient beings. You should follow the Buddha Dharma and practice diligently. So everyone present was grateful and filled with joy after hearing the Buddha's teaching, and they vowed to practice according to what the Buddha had taught. Taking up an occupation involving killing and butchering other animals is a wrong choice of livelihood. These people will not make fortunes if they chose to do so. This action not only harm themselves, harm others' lives, but also themselves. So we can see that Buddha is against this. According to Buddha Dharma, right livelihood is the fifth of the eightfold noble path. A right life is abstaining from any of the forbidden modes of living. So 5 kinds of livelihood are discouraged, such as trading animals to be slaughtered, operating slaughterhouses, shrimp fishing farms, hunting gear shops, having business dealing with weapons, slaves, poisons, and intoxicants, brothels, engaging in human trafficking, drug smuggling, and usury like loan sharking, the illegal actions or practice of lending money at unreasonable high rate of interest. It is wrong also to engage in counterfeiting casinos or reporting false real media or pornography, etc. So sowing good seeds can create good causes, bring good fruits. Sowing bad causes bring bad fruits. So taking others' life and harming others will bring us no merit, but only bad karmic results. So we should do jobs that will not hurt others' life and feelings. If we can have righteous view when we work, we not only can work happily in the workplace, we shall have harmony with co-workers because we treat others fairly, protect others, and shall not hurt them. So the wrong views that uses the guise of science to justify taking lives. The Buddhist teachings on what is killing and what is not killings are reasonable, ethical, and not hard to understand. Yet, those who use the guise of science to justify taking lives have muddled this matter and argue that taking life is a fact that is unrelated to sentiments and rationality, or to kill or to the killer and victim. In other words, they argue that the matter is nothing related to humans. From their views, they turn their arguments from inability to avoid killing into the view that it is acceptable to kill, and even to conclude that killing is a must. If we follow their arguments, then one would postulate that war is unavoidable in this world, and accordingly, it is acceptable to engage in conflict and war with cruelty, or even that war is necessary. So this would mean that the promotion of peace, which is anti-war and anti-invasion, should also be opposed. So these people who support killing lives are none others but the obliterators of the truth and morality. If Buddhists agree with these views, then they are undoubtedly idiots who do not possess the right views. Okay, so clarifying problems caused by history, environments, and beliefs. Some people think that it is reasonable for Buddhists and even monastic members to consume meat because Buddha and his disciples did not abstain from consuming meat, according to the sutras and the Vinayas. And even nowadays, the monastic members in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Thailand are still living a lifestyle like the Asian Indian system and consume meat. The Mongolian and the Tibetan lamas and the Japanese monastic members are living in such a way as well. So from the evidence mentioned above, abstaining from consuming meat is a special habit of Buddhists in China. Vegetarianism is not a precept that Buddhists must uphold. This explanation, based on the facts of these Buddhist countries, seems extremely reasonable. However, there is a preliminary questions that we should clarify and understand. Buddhism regards protecting and benefiting sentient beings and our world as its guiding spirit, and uses this lofty idea to make people continuously improve in their actual lives. This loftiest goal and aim can only be achieved by taking into account the conditions of time and space. So the starting point must be something doable for the people, and then slowly they can progress to greater and higher practices. It is futile to apply the same high standards to all situations. If one claimed that everyone should apply the same high standard to all situations, then this statement will become nothing more than all talk and no actions, because it is not doable. Therefore, there are different levels of teaching methods in the Buddha Dharma, such as the teachings of human and heavenly realms and the transcendental teachings. We should understand the gradual ways and expedient means which leads to thorough and ultimate supreme teachings, instead being inclined to the imperfect side. So, elaboration on the issues of the threefold acceptable meats in Buddha's time in Theravada Buddhism. It is true that in ancient Indian system, at the time when Buddha was living on earth and his later disciples did and still consume meat. However, they abstained from killing. So the precepts do not only strictly forbid killing humans, harming the lives of sentient beings intentionally is also forbidden. Monastics even need to always bring water filter bags with them to avoid harming the microorganism in drinking water accidentally. It is without questions that the practice of no killing is stringently applied in Buddhism. However, Buddha and his disciples are living on alms, so they can only eat what the donor offers them. So Buddha and his disciples will never personally kill and harm sentient beings or insist to eat meat for the satisfaction of taste, because monastics need to travel and preach the Buddha Dharma and seek alms. They consume what they get and not forbid eating meat. Monastics neither have the intentions to kill nor are animals killed exclusively for them. So although they are consuming meat, they have never broken the precepts of no killing. As such, there were some restrictions related to the consumption of meat at that time. In the situations where the monastic personally saw the animal was killed in order to make the offering to them, or they were informed or suspect that the meat dish was especially made for them, they have to politely decline the offerings and not accept. This is because the animals were killed, especially for their sake in those conditions. Therefore, if they do not know to decline the meats offered by the donors when they should, in these situations, they were regarded as breaking the precepts of no killing. So Buddha Dharma prohibited consuming meats, not because they are meat, but because it is killing lives. People generally do not know the meaning of no killing and do not know that to abstain from consuming meat is for the sake of avoiding killing and not because that is meat. As a result, unavoidably, there are diverse opinions. So provided the monastic do not see, hear, or doubt that the animal is killed for their consumption when begging for food, they do not break the precepts of no killing if they consume the meat that is offered. However, if monastics are receiving long-term offerings from a devotee, then they should inform and educate the devotees to avoid especially making meat dish in order to offer it to them. Otherwise, they violate the rule of no killing if they still consume meat. How can it be reasonable that the monastics know the devotee is taking the life of an animal, especially for them, but still eat the meat, using the reasons that the Buddha allows them to eat meat? If some get used to eating meat and feel it is a must to consume it, they are bound by their desire to taste. In this situation, even they are monastics from Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Thailand, and so on, they have offended the fundamental teachings of compassion by Buddha and lost the spirit of Buddhism. So there's also a little story that I heard from my Dharma sister, because they went to a Buddhist camp to do meditation, and they follow a Bande to do the meditation. And actually the camp, well, they are not vegetarians, but because three of my Dharma sisters went to the camp, so they prepare vegetarian just for them. And someday, like my Dharma sister heard that, a lay Buddhist, a lay devotees is, especially preparing meat dishes for the Bande. And my Dharma sister is shocked. They say, why you prepare the meat for the Bande? And that lay Buddhist said, oh, because the Bande loves meat. So we have to be very careful. Like, because they can accept meat doesn't mean we specially prepared nice, tasty meat for them. It's not good for them. They can only accept if they really don't know what being offered, or on the road without choosing the food. So for lay Buddhists, for us, we should be careful when we cook the meat, because as we learn from what Buddha said, if we especially prepare meat, and we know is to prepare the meat for the Sangha members, then this will make them against the precepts. So we have to be very careful with what we do, whether it helps us and help others when they practice. So the time is there. So can we do the bell, and we'll end this session today and continue tomorrow. Thank you.